Big. Hi. Morning, afternoon, evening, fellows. I don't really know what to call this weather, but kind of a nice shower going on. And here we have a subscriber. Your name, friend?
Ramachandran.
Ramachandran has come with his brand new 2020 Himalayan. And, Himalayan, kindly forgive me for the pronunciation. Okay, so the first thing that I noticed with this bike, this model, is that these guys have come up with, that is Royal Enfield has come up with a new crash guard, a lovely design. I have been speaking about fabricating a design by myself with a local vendor here, a local welder here, and the fellow has helped me make something which is very similar, but more like a 3-point mounting system. Whereas what you see here is a 2-point mounting system, more like the one that you find on my motorcycle. But the idea behind this, why was I also planning on making something like this? Because look at how close it is to the frame, and this is what you need. This is what you need when you do off-road riding with a torquey motor like this. This is definitely not a ripper. You can't really go jumping on off-road terrain. You know, you will have to tackle the rocks. You will have to get hit. And with the bigger crash guards, the problem is that they kind of obstruct your ability. They are all the time, you have to be all the time mindful of the width of the motorcycle down low because of the wide crash guards. Of course, in case of a fall, the crash guards do help. But then again, you have the wide handlebar to take care of a fall. What you need is an engine guard. What you need is not a crash guard. This is for serious off-road riding, fellas. Either remove your crash guard or have the crash guard which takes a hit and bends like the one that you find on mine, or have a crash guard like this interesting design. Super low, super sleek, super flush, sits very close to the chassis, and maybe I'm not very sure about the clearance here. That's about 7 millimeters. I don't know if there's a big rock, if the engine lands on a rock, whether this will go caving in and kind of dig a hole into the soft aluminum casing. But that's for the engineers to comment on it, because those guys would have definitely tested this multiple number of times and only then come up with a design like this. But I'm making something very similar. My design kind of doesn't have this two bends. Mine has just one bend on the top, goes straight down, and then there's a connection to the third mounting point that is on the chassis. On the frame, on the on this area, exactly this area. So there's a 3-point mounting system, an engine guard, not a crash guard. Love this design, pretty compact, pretty easy. I'm definitely going to get my hands on this, try it out extensively. It's because I've not been able to test my own design. It's still under production for a really, really long time. I'm going to get this. Ram, how much is this, by the way?
1,300.
1,300 is a very easy purchase for a lot of fellows out there. You guys can very easily get this. The ones who do off-road riding, kindly get this and not the bloody leg guard or the crash guard. Something that he pointed out that I don't like is swapping the compass with the gear indicator. Definitely never really found the gear indicator useful. A gear indicator is good for people who are starting to learn how to ride motorcycles. Otherwise, I don't think the gear indicator comes in handy in any which way. I'm not particular about getting to know which gear I'm in. It's because I've always, as a rider, when you grow, you know which gear you are in, but because of the RPMs. But here, I don't understand why they took away such a wonderful feature, that is the compass, and swapped it with a gear indicator. Maybe the compass design wasn't as successful as it is in some motorcycles. There's 50% of fellows out there who find that the compass is not calibrated properly and they keep complaining about it. Maybe that is why they took it off, but on my motorcycle it works flawlessly. It's amazing. It has absolutely never let me down. Anytime I go riding into the forest, I have I lean on the compass on the motorcycle more than anything else. I have a watch which has a compass, a digital compass built into it, but still I stopped using the watches because of the lovely compass on the motorcycle. So that's another change that don't really fancy. But apart from that, the rest of the motorcycle is nice. I love this color. What color is this?
It's the silver one, black silver.
It's a very nice silver. I haven't gotten to see this silver. I've only gotten to see the grey. And yep. So that's the Royal Enfield. Yeah, I see that. There is a nice lovely brown seat to go with this particular color, and then you have the racing bands. But all said and done, I love this particular color. It's interesting. I'm not a big lover for anything in color. I prefer neutrals. So again, very subjective. I don't want to comment on the brown seat or the brown stripes, but love the silver color. Very interesting silver. It's more like a satin silver. It's dull, very dull, and very at the same time has a sheen to it. So yep, I'm back on the motorcycle, and what we have done for Ram is that we've managed to lower the angles of the gear and the clutch lever, sorry, the brake and the clutch lever, just for better reach, and to be able to reduce the draw. The leverage goes down drastically the more you have an angle. I mean, the more you increase the angle at the perch. So that is one thing that I've worked on. We've also lowered his headlights angle. So now how this fellow hits the wall is approximately between 3 and 3.5 feet, and that is where you want it to hit the wall. So one good way in which you guys can understand how to judge, how to gauge the angle of your headlight is to have the bike at least at 15 feet from a wall, and have the light beam, the cutoff, the light beam hit, that is this line hit the wall at somewhere around 3 feet. So we are talking 3 feet here, and if it hits at 3.5 feet, then you know that your headlight is aligned properly to where it is supposed to be. And now if you watch, the high beam doesn't go flying on top. It's right where it's supposed to be. So that's with the headlamp adjustment. What else have I done? Of course, the usual tweak. His clutch lever at the clearance part of it, the what do you call this? Free play was way more than what the company recommends. Again, let me clarify. The 2 mm that I speak about in a video is not what I recommend. It is what the manufacturer recommends. So if you find that you have so much free play on your clutch lever, it has definitely got to do with the QC fellow who finally checked and let your motorcycle out. But what the manufacturer recommends is 2 millimeters of free play, and not more than that. You can of course stretch it till 3. Anything more than 5 is an overkill. You are definitely looking at reduced clutch plate and fiber plate lifespan. So yeah, 2 millimeters. Learn how to ride with a full clutch. Learn how to ride. That's all there is that I can say. Be seriously invested in learning. Don't get the Himalayan and think of this as the next motorcycle in your garage. This is a motorcycle that is going to be highly demanding in terms of ride, in terms of maintenance, in terms of every single aspect. You'll be shelling out a lot of time, money, and effort. There's just going to be a lot of effort towards the end of the day for you to be able to ride this motor effortlessly. So be a little more invested in learning, and you will enjoy it. Yeah, those 3 niggles, adjusted the clutch, free play. Got the of course he also had problems with the mirror. The mirror he said wasn't moving backwards. It wasn't far back enough for him to be able to see the traffic at the back. For him, the mirrors were at this angle. That is the maximum position. And what I did was I just kind of loosened these bolts and pushed the position of the mirrors and the lever a little more forward. Thereby he totally solved the that's not technically an issue. That's ergonomics. For a 5'6" rider, the way the motorcycle comes from the factory, perfect. For a 5'10" fellow, you will definitely have to work on the ergonomics. You will have to work on the mirrors, you'll have to work on the levers, you'll have to work on the handlebar position, maybe push it a bit forward just for that better reach. And so many things you ought to be able to, you ought to work on the motorcycle, especially control, especially handlebars, because this is where it all starts. This is where you feel the motorcycle. So this is where you understand how your ergonomics works. And minor adjustments go a long way. So yep, done with all of that, and some few tips to Ram regarding how much fuel to carry in the fuel tank. So that's the whole of it, guys. Lovely motorcycle, love the color, and quite appealing. Very smooth engine, unlike the BS4. The BS6 is just immaculate in terms of the engine refinement. Hope Ram maintains it the way it is supposed to be maintained. So I shall see you on another one, and this is Ben signing out for now. Ciao.